Hello everyone! It's been a really long time since I've done a video where I've just talked in my bedroom, mostly because my computer doesn't have a great webcam and I did not want to invest in a YouTube channel that made no money, but I guess since I am monetized now, I have no excuse for not getting a better setup. Regardless, this video is about how I am moving to Cambodia. So, as you may know, this summer I did a study abroad in Prague. It was 4 weeks, and it was legitimately the best time of my life. I had no idea how much better life was outside of the US. Like, the fact that you could just get on a train or a tram or a bus, and it would be there on time, and it would take you anywhere you needed to go in the city. And even if you wanted to go further than that, you could get on a train and it would take you there. Like, that was the most amazing thing to me. And of course, just how walkable it was. I recorded my steps only like a couple days, but I was going like 15 miles a day. And I just loved just how lively it felt. I love being able to see new things and to finally get out of my hometown. And then after that, of course, I came back home. And as you can see, here's my bedroom. It's not great. I pay $750 a month for a room that is not $750 a month. It should not cost that much. And honestly, I got really depressed when I came home. I sat there and I was thinking, why am I living like this? Like, there has to be a way to get back to that place. So at first I took a TESOL course. It's an English teaching course. I did one online, got certified. I actually finished it while I was in Prague. Like, I finished it there. But the only issue is that a lot of European countries require a bachelor's first, which I'm not going to have until June of next year. So I started just applying anywhere and everywhere. And the restrictions are a little bit looser in certain countries, specifically the further east you go into Asia and in, I guess, less picky European countries, Spain, Portugal, the Ukraine, though obviously I wouldn't be going there for reasons. Even Russia had openings. And a couple weeks ago, I got a job offer for a Cambodian school, a private school. We did an interview, and within a couple days, they were like, yeah, you're hired. And so now all I'm working on is just selling my car and my motorcycle, getting rid of all my subscriptions to things here, and getting rid of all my shit. Because I've got, you can't see it, but I've got a lot of books and a lot more in storage, and I've got a lot of clothes, a lot of which I'm not going to need for a tropical climate. And I've just got a lot of stuff, and I have to prepare for a lot of stuff. Being diabetic, I was really, really happy to find out that insulin is pretty much like really affordable and over the counter. For one thing, I reached out to several diabetics on several different forums, and they mentioned that a 5-pack of Novolog pens, which is about a month and a half supply, is $50 there, when here that is somewhere around $600. And seeing as after I turned 21 in August, I was kicked off of my state insurance, one of my biggest concerns has been, what am I going to do when my stockpile runs out? I've known since I was like 17 that I would one day run out of insurance, and so from then on, I've been stockpiling medication. And even through that, I have been still having a decent amount of medicine, so I didn't have to worry about the consequences of that. But recently, my health has definitely taken a downturn because I've had a lot more high blood sugars and a lot more up and downs, simply because I can't go to the doctor, I can't get new prescriptions, I can't go to the GP, can't go to the dentist, can't even test my blood sugar too many times a day or else I'll run out of test strips. So one of the big motivators for me wasn't just how awesome it was to not be in Georgia, it was also healthcare is so much more affordable when you're not here. Not to mention, housing is much more affordable. And of course, I wouldn't have to work 17 different jobs just to make ends meet. When I was living here in Georgia, it was $750 for rent, and then a good $270 for car and motorcycle insurance, and then another $300 to $400 for food, and then you got to pay for gas, which is $250 to $300, and then of course just everything else you pay for. And somehow everything always worked out. I'm very good at finding jobs when I need them, but it's still been very stressful to balance that with a full workload, especially with courses, all the classes I'm taking, which is one of the reasons why I failed 2 classes last semester. I just could not work 50 hours a week with night shifts and then go to school at 8 a.m. in the morning and still make it work. And so I switched to online classes earlier this year, which I am very, very happy with. I'm doing much better now that I can do work at like 3 a.m. when I'm actually able to have time to do them versus having to worry about getting the class on time. And with that flexibility, it means that I can go to Cambodia, work there for a year, and then when I have my bachelor's next June, I can just apply. I can go to Spain, Portugal. I really want to go back to Prague at least for a year, and I'll have so many more options since I have my bachelor's degree. For now, though, I'm working on a little list of things to get figured out. Like, I'm like, okay, I cannot bring my 200 my 200 plus Transformers comic book collection. Not only is that really heavy, I haven't touched it in a couple years, but I don't want to sell it, but I don't want to pay for a storage unit. So what do? I also have to just figure out which books I'm going to take with me. I'm going to have to, unfortunately, convert to using like a Kindle or something because it's just unsustainable to carry around a shit ton of books. I'm going to have to focus on, figuring out flights, figuring out housing, which I think I figured out tonight. And it seems like today is the day I'm recording this, is the 15th of September. I think I'll be leaving on the 25th or 26th. So I'm saying goodbye to all my friends and family, and I'm really just looking forward to this new adventure. They are hiring for another English teacher, so if anyone speaks English fluently, is from an English-speaking country, and is willing to apply, DM me. I'd be happy to direct you the same path that I'm taking. And I'm just super excited to keep you all in the loop. I'll definitely be recording my travel there, what I do when I get there. And since this time it's going to be by myself and not with a program, I'm really happy that I spent a week in Paris because it wasn't obviously an example of living alone in a foreign country. I do know a little French and Paris is very English speaking. It did teach me a little bit about how to be a bit more street savvy and just how to get more used to being alone. That's something that wasn't like when I did the study abroad with the CIEE in Prague. It was great because there was someone there in the airport to get you from the airport to your residence, and then at the residence they gave you a tour and they gave you food and they showed you where everything was and helped you get your internet set up. And so there wasn't any point where I was confused or I couldn't have somebody answer a question for me. And then after that, of course, there was other kids in the program who were, in the same boat. Like after like a good 2 weeks of living through like the worst heat wave in Prague, we were all just sitting there like, I miss America with its ACs and its ice makers, which I did miss that, I'm not gonna lie. I'm very glad that the apartment that I'm moving into does have AC, or the one that I'm looking at least. It's just something that was very fun to just be able to go into the group chat and say, hey, anyone want to go out tonight? And you'd automatically have friends set up. And this is going to be a bit of a different experience because, yeah, I'll have my job, and I'm sure that I will meet at least one or two people from work who will be able to answer some questions with me. But I'm still going to be going into this just head first and figuring out as I go. And of course, you guys will be there with me as I record. If I go missing, you'll also know. But hopefully it doesn't come to that. If you guys have any advice on moving to a different country, questions, concerns, or just want to talk, please go ahead, leave comments below. And of course, this is my kind of excuse for if I put out a bit more pre-made content. For example, the interviews, I know they're hour long. I know they're not for everyone. But I don't have to edit them and they're ready. I have like 7. So I apologize in advance if that's what it comes to. But otherwise, wish me luck. I'm super excited to go on this journey.